Okay, good morning everyone. It's Shay Ortiz, and we're going to have a quick conversation about how to have the best maternity shoot experience possible and carving out your own happiness for your own self. Okay, so I wanted to take the time to talk to you guys about maternity photo shoots and how my experience was and why my experience was delightful, but I'm shocked to hear from certain friends and family members and people on the internet that they did not have a good experience with their photo shoot, with photographers, lack thereof, and nobody deserves that. So, number one, I really think that people should book a real photographer rather than somebody with an iPhone. And here's why. There's a big difference between photographs and pictures. And just because you have an iPhone with all these filters and all these settings, and I don't have an iPhone, but I know that they're very expensive and they have a lot of fancy things going on, but it's just a nice picture. It's not a photo. Something about having professional lighting and mobile flash units, and maybe your photographer has an assistant, that really does help. So for myself, I use Mansfield Media over in the Metro Philadelphia area, and he has been my photographer since he was a youngin. He was a wee photographer, and my wedding package was our first time meeting, and I have hired him for every event. And we actually have a website that's collated with all of the events that we have worked with and collaborated with together. So now that I'm advancing and moving along and things with the Rona have calmed down, I do plan on doing more photo shoots and doing more collaborations with him. I truly do believe that it's worth the money for just a few $100s or $100 to go find a novice photographer who has an actual camera and maybe a small setup. That is worth it to me. Um, if you hire somebody who is a friend, you are taking a risk. You're taking a risk because there has to be professional boundaries set in place. So if you know someone who has a camera and they're a friend and they're a photographer, or they take pictures on the side, you could get ish results with that, but I leave that up to you. But just remember, my advice is to hire a real photographer. The second bit of advice I have is to book more than one session. I did not end up needing to do this, but I know a lot of people do. So I booked my photography session somewhere between my 28 and 30 weeks mark, and I can't remember when it was, and I'm so sorry. But I booked it pretty early, pretty midterm. Maybe it was 34 weeks, but it was pretty early on. I think if you're booking your photography session for your maternity shoot at 38 weeks, you're really taking a risk. So if you're gonna book 38 weeks, you might as well just book two. And it's for the reasons that I've just previously stated. That photographer that was your friend, who had an iPhone, who had a little camera set up, they might not have performed and published the pictures in a way that you liked, in a way that was flattering. And like I said, every person who is carrying pregnancy should feel more than confident with what their body is doing right now, and that should be reflected in the photographs that they are confident. And if the confidence isn't visible, you need to retake those photos. Unfortunately, I've had a couple horror stories, and another one told to me relatively recently that, she didn't like her photos. She felt like she was too big. And I'm not sure where that comes from, but she was probably bullied and traumatized. We need to talk about verbiage later and verbal abuse. We will go over that. But again, my second tip is to maybe try and set up 2 photo sessions. Again, Thumbtack is a fantastic resource. I'm not sponsored by them yet, but Thumbtack is a great way to just hire local professionals in your area. Even the Buy Nothing groups or your local mom groups on Facebook, whatever it might be, will help you hire and get to the people that are really going to be talented and really are going to collaborate with you and your vibe and your energy, and bring that vision that you have in your mind and on your Pinterest boards, bring that to life. So that's pretty important. Family members demanding photos, absolutely not. You will publish these photos on your time. I was being asked by family members, send me a picture of your belly sideways, and I didn't want to do that. I actually did not want to do the graduated photos. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I wasn't confident enough to do that. You know, the 12 week, it's the 12, the 20, the 34, the 38. It's a graduated series of photos of like 4 or 6, and women are like holding their bellies on the side. And I didn't want to do that. I just didn't feel inspired enough to do it. I didn't feel like I had a cute enough outfit to take more than once, to take pictures more than once. I didn't feel like I had good lighting. I just didn't like it. I didn't want to do it, so I didn't. But again, my grandmother, my sister, meaning well, but I just did not want to do it, so I didn't. Prepared to stand your ground. That is me. That's my personality. I stood my ground, and I did not just send miscellaneous pictures of my pregnant body to various family members for them to gawk at it or to appreciate it, whatever it might have been. I just didn't want to be a participant in that. I just wanted to do my own thing. Publish your photos on your time. Publish your maternity shoot photos when you feel like it. I publish them much closer to my due date. My due date's actually today, but I published them on social media for my family members maybe 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And I parceled out, you know, different things like her nursery and just things like that. Oh, another thing is I'm not sharing her name, so I'm trying to appease the masses, but on my terms, right? So because people don't know what her name is, that's my way of like assuaging, you know, building up some anticipation, getting everyone excited, really feeling really excited to be parents, but again, doing it on my terms, not anyone else's. If you are not interested in hiring a photographer, it's just absolutely not in the cards. Consider a scrapbook. I did a scrapbook anyway, but again, some pictures with a phone. If you have to, go to the shoreline, go to the beach, try to take more than one photo session. I definitely recommend that. Have more than one outfit set up, have more than one theme. Pinterest, again, that's going to be one of your great sounding boards for themes and ideas, and put it all into the scrapbook. You know, our journey with you, put your ultrasound and how we met, and we're expecting you, can't wait to see you, things like that. Scrapbooking can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. That will be a separate video, but again, it's just something to consider. I would really hope that we can talk about the verbiage and verbal abuse that women receive during pregnancy. How is a pregnant woman too big? And is it appropriate to shout across the parking lot, yo, it's twins? And I don't know, it just, people mean well. And people are very accommodating when you're showing. Like, I've been of course, like shopping carts and people asking if you need assistance and things like that, right? But like when you're walking around and someone just says it's twins, like, okay, what if it is twins? And yes, you are this big for a reason. Telling pregnant women, oh, you're not going to make it, that's not something to say. Just wish them the best. Smoothest process possible, anything to get the baby here safely. Do not interrogate pregnant women about how they're having the baby, if they're doing it natural, or if they're gonna be drugged up, or I could never do that because, you know, I can't stand pain. Nobody cares. As long as the baby gets here safely, that's the priority. So please do not put pregnant women or yourself on trial for how your delivery is planned or not planned. That shit might not be planned, and that's okay. But I really just wanted to make this video to try and express some of my experience with photographers and my experience with my pregnancy so far, which has been very pleasant. But again, I'm from the Northeast. So because I'm Jersedelphian at that, I just tell it like it is. So if I don't like your pictures, I'm going to tell you when you ask, hey, how come you didn't put my pictures on social media? You didn't boost me, you didn't promote me. I didn't like the way the pictures turned out. I wasn't satisfied with the quality. I felt like the lighting was off. They weren't flattering. They weren't good. They wasn't no good. You ain't no good. But I'm very straightforward. And everybody is not like that. And to people outside of the US who might be watching this, Americans, we are known for our honesty, but it's really this Northeast attitude that I have. And people are shocked by that, and it could be considered rude, but it's not rude. I'm not arguing. I'm not bashing you. I'm not debating with you. I'm telling you the photos are not good, and I won't be using them. So when I did decide to have my maternity shoot, I really, really did do it for myself. There were so many things I didn't want, but after some family things happened, like my mother passed away, and it just was a lot. At age 30, that happened for me and to me, so I changed a lot of my values very quickly. So again, I decided to have a maternity shoot, and my experience was very pleasant, and everyone deserves to have a pleasant experience in pregnancy, but I understand that's not the reality. So I wanted to just proffer that little bit of information to you all. When you have your maternity shoot, do not tell everybody. Just, if you can, manage to somehow keep a secret. I don't know how you're going to do that. I know I did. It was just me, my husband, and my photographer. We knew. But everyone's not like me. But people want to get cousins involved and, get all the women in the family there and all this other drama. Oh my God. Just do your photos. Do them on your terms. These are my recommendations: to hire a real photographer and maybe have more than one session. I guess that's what it really boils down to. I'll try to have a lot of information down in the notes. I really adore you all for watching. Again, it's me, Shay. And I will talk to you all later. See ya.